Hello guys, welcome to the Alrasta channel. In this episode, I will explain the storyline of the SwallowedStar series, episodes 159 and 160. Okay, instead of taking too long, let's just get straight to the story. Before getting the blessing for his love problem, Hong was required to complete the illusion challenge created by the Phantom Spirit King. After completing several levels of illusion, Hong's progress was briefly halted when he found himself in an illusion that brought him face to face with Yao Rao, one of his 3 female personal guards from Earth. The relationship between them is quite close, but it's not a love affair. Hong treats him more like a daughter because Yao Rao is a child Hong once saved during the Grand Nirvana era. After patting Yao Rao on the head and clarifying the situation between the two of them, Hong managed to complete the world of illusion. Coming out of the portal, the Phantom Spirit King congratulated Hong for having successfully resolved all the illusions. But the woman said that Hong still couldn't be with Ji Qing. At that moment, Ji Qing, who had come to hug Hong, suddenly pushed him away. Hong immediately understood that he was still in the world of illusion because Ji Qing, who had not shown him any love, immediately challenged him to a fight. For Hong, distinguishing illusion from reality is not a problem, but the Phantom Spirit King deliberately uses Ji Qing in her illusion to create misunderstandings in order to create a chink in Hong's heart. This challenge is not just an ordinary illusion. Even though the Ji Qing he is fighting is formed from pure illusion, there is a possibility that Hong will not be too bold in taking action. The real Ji Qing, who is watching Hong's fight, hopes that Hong will not think too much about his fake self and stay focused on fighting.
And
sure enough, even though he had the opportunity to destroy Ji Qing's illusion, Hong couldn't bring himself to do it. The Phantom Spirit King, who was trying to put Hong under further pressure, then pierced Ji Qing's body with her hand from behind, forcing Hong to witness a sight that made him even more distressed, as his girlfriend died before his very eyes. However, when he opened his eyes again, it was Hong whose body was penetrated by Ji Qing's illusion, making him even more depressed, falling to his knees and doing nothing. Seeing Hong's condition, the Phantom Spirit King thought that he had failed the challenge of the world of illusion. If Hong continued to be dissolved in it, he would die because his consciousness could not get out again. While Luo Feng and Ji Qing were so worried, Hong recalled his love story with his girlfriend, and Hong was able to rise again from his depression that had engulfed his mind. Hong, who had returned to his feet, stuck his spear into the surface to destroy the illusory world, and said that he loved Ji Qing so much. Even though the Phantom Spirit King had just taken advantage of Hong's feelings to mess with him, it seemed useless, because for Hong, love was not a weakness. Sinking into it instead made him feel a sense of nobility and courage, and made his heart feel calm. This was in contrast to the Phantom Spirit King, who had no love, let alone a partner. So she didn't know what true love, which has many positive effects, felt like. With a firm and gallant step, Hong walked confidently towards the exit portal, and that was how Hong was able to resolve all the illusory worlds created by the Phantom Spirit King. The Phantom Spirit King disciples, who had previously underestimated Hong, did not expect that the man had actually successfully completed the challenge. Hong was really cool in their eyes. Upon meeting Ji Qing again, the two immediately hugged. In accordance with the agreed promise, because Hong had successfully completed the challenge, he had received the blessing of the Phantom Spirit King for his relationship with her disciple. Even so, the Phantom Spirit King hoped that her disciple would remain alert and not slack off in her training, especially because of frequent dates with her boyfriend. Returning to the real world, around the base station area, Luo Feng congratulated his first brother for successfully completing his business. Of course, for Hong, none of this would have been possible without Luo Feng's help. Not only did he get his blessing, but after Hong completed all the illusory worlds of the Phantom Spirit King, He also received an invitation to special training from the giant Axe Arena, one of the 5 great powers in the universe. Training at that place would be a rare opportunity that warriors rarely get, so Hong would make good use of it. Hong would prove to the Phantom Spirit King and Ji Tianchang that Ji Qing had not chosen the wrong partner. On the other hand, Luo Feng asked about the 18 illusory worlds that Hong had passed through before and had worried Luo Feng. Here, Luo Feng was quite surprised when Hong said that the challenge of the illusory world was impressive, but Hong did not consider it a threat. Who would have thought that Hong, who seemed like a person under mental pressure before, was just pretending? He pretended like that to show his hard struggle to get Ji Qing. His acting was very smooth. Luo Feng laughed after finding out the truth. Now that Hong's business has been properly settled, Luo Feng will focus on doing his job as the inspection envoy who performs supervisory duties in the Qianwu Universe Kingdom while secretly finding out information about the insect race. Some time has passed. The story goes that Luo Feng had done a lot of work there, but Ji Tianchang was very annoyed with Luo Feng, whom she considered to be trying to resist. Luo Feng, who had been to many places, had told Ji Tianchang that he just wanted to take a look at the culture of each region. But it turned out that Luo Feng had instead interfered with many issues related to the warrior division. According to Jin Yuhuo, at the previous inauguration ceremony, Luo Feng was seen making faces at the two of them. It seems that Luo Feng can be cooperated with, so Jin thought that it would be good if the two of them were frank with Luo Feng about the evils they had been harboring all this time. That was stupid thinking, according to Ji Tianchang. Why should they have to expose their shame? Even though now the inspection envoy still has no concrete evidence of their wrongdoing. Because Luo Feng is too active, in the end, they will let it go for a while. Moreover, the area that Luo Feng will visit next will make him a super busy person. Meanwhile, at the headquarters of the insects, the location of which is unknown. At that time, there was an unknown person who reported that Luo Feng had been found, and now he is in Dragonstar, the empire of Black Dragon Mountain. Upon receiving the report, the Queen of Insects gave orders to get rid of Luo Feng immediately. Switching to a virtual meeting room, 3 officials from the virtual company Qianwu are now holding a meeting with the Venerable Nine Swords. The Venerable questioned Ji Tianchang, "Why has the Golden Horn clan problem still not been resolved? In the past few months, the clan has often held demonstrations and caused the company to suffer considerable losses. In this matter, Ji Tianchang said that his party was trying to mediate. It was said that the Golden Horn clan was a form of stone life. They depend on humans because their members are getting thinner and thinner. As stones that have life, they have a unique way of increasing mining effectiveness, so they use their mining skills as workers to get protection from the human clan. Some of them are also skilled at making weapons." Babata then showed Luo Feng when the Golden Horn clans were demonstrating. Among the Golden Horn clans that were seen demonstrating, Luo Feng could see a Golden Horn clan warrior who seemed very strong. But he didn't use his power at all. It seemed like he wanted the demonstration to take place safely without anyone having to get hurt. Babata said that the Golden Horn clan also had many immortal-level mental masters. There are many strong people in the clan because there is an ancestor of theirs who once left a monument there. And for those who can understand the contents of the monument, the company makes an exception for him. He becomes a frontline warrior who is allowed to fight against foreign races. Luo Feng thought it was the same as being a meat shield, but not according to Babata. If you want to get protection, there has to be value in return. The Golden Horn clan sent to the front line represents an equal exchange with the virtual company. Win-win solution. Ji Tianchang explained to the Venerable Nine Swords that the Golden Horn clan was too outspoken and inflexible, making small problems as big as they are now. From Ji Tianchang's attitude of trying to free himself from problems by blaming the other party, Luo Feng could understand why the Golden Horn clan felt annoyed with the Night Division. The Venerable Nine Swords also seemed to know that he was upset, but acted as if he knew nothing. At that time, Ji Tianchang suggested that they send a representative to the Laos continent where the Golden Horn clan lived, to show the company's sincerity and negotiate with them. But the ability of the representatives sent should not be too high, so that the company is not suspected of pressuring them using violence, as if the problems of both parties are not important. From her words, Luofeng was sure that the cunning woman wanted to tell Luofeng to go and meet the Golden Horn clan. So before the cunning woman contributed by recommending Luofeng, and before she spoke, Luofeng stepped forward to recommend himself by asking if, as an inspection envoy, he had the right to make visits and resolve problems. Instantly, it was Luofeng who received praise from Venerable Nine Swords, even though Luofeng had not been in office for long, but he was already willing to lighten the burden on the company. After agreeing that Luofeng would be the Venerable's representative, he left. As for Luofeng, getting to know the Golden Horns clan and seeing the monuments they had would also be a good thing. He could expand his relationships for the future, and there would be many who would help him fight the insect race. Ji Tianchang, whose praise had been taken away, was annoyed herself. Without lingering, we will immediately move on to the continent of Lasao, or Laos. Luo Feng, who arrived there, met with Fan Qi, a high-ranking member of the Golden Horn clan who came from the Tawan tribe. Looking at the continent of Laos, Luo Feng said that mining plains like the one in that place are very rare in the universe. The plain is said to have been formed by 100,000 blacksmiths of the Golden Horn clan with a soil thickness of 300 billion kilometers and a diameter of 2.1 light-years, so that the entire landmass can maintain its stability in the universe. Such a noble creation, said Luofeng. Going deeper into the continent, Luofeng could see many members of the Golden Horn clan, fighting in various places. During the trip, Fan Qi explained that if the Golden Horn clan had to leave their tribe after adulthood, they had to become strong, so that they could be useful to their clan. To the elder Fan Qi, Luofeng admitted that the actions of the human clan had indeed been unfair, so he had come there to change the situation and hoped that Fan Qi would have more confidence in the human clan in the future. Don't be too polite, replied Fan Qi. Very different from the rumors, he said the Golden Horn clan was quite aggressive and blatant, but the elder in front of Luofeng was very polite. It seems that he also wants both sides to be able to reconcile. One of the Golden Horn clan warriors who was running fast took us to the area of the city square, which was so crowded. The focus was still on Luo Feng together with his bodyguard Dylan and Elder Fan Qi, who were in the middle of the crowd. Seeing Luo Feng, who was only a level 9 domain master, but he was greeted by the Elder Fan Qi, made many of the Golden Horn clans there feel envious and annoyed. Luo Feng was considered too full of himself and was told to go home by them. This showed that Luo Feng was not accepted by the clans, which was blatantly obvious from their attitude. Of course, they didn't like Luo Feng because he came from the human clan. Even though he was from the human clan, Luo Feng was considered arrogant. Some said that Luo Feng was told to go home, while others said that he was challenged to a fight. Stopping there for a moment, Fan Qi pointed in another direction to a statue of the ancestor of the Golden Horn clan, Shi Luo Duo, and Luo Feng immediately paid his respects in the signature style of the Golden Horn clan. Luo Feng had great respect for the ancestors of the Golden Horn clan, not only because of his ability with origin law, but also because of his great blacksmithing skills. Luo Feng himself only recently found out that his weapon, Yan Shen, was a creation of his ancestor, Shi Luo Duo. Along with that, from another direction, there was a sudden shock that turned out to come from a figure known as the Giant Destroyer Monster, one of the 12 highest monster races in the universe. The creature did not want to submit after being captured, so the ancestor of the Golden Horn clan bound it using a binding formation. Staring at the creature, Luo Feng could feel how arrogant it was, even though it was now being kept like a pet. The reason why Shi Luo Duo put the creature there was also as a reminder that the Golden Horn clan must be a strong clan, because in the future, when the creature has become immortal, it will be released. Babata said that the giant destructive monster had a technique of stopping time, and even its hair also contained the power of the time-type origin law. And because Luo Feng still had one cloning slot, I think this creature could also be used so that the clones would be more diverse. In the middle of it all, Luo Feng was challenged by a citizen again, and Luo Feng refused because his arrival there was to mediate with the palace of his ancestral patriarch. Instead of understanding Luo Feng's intentions, more and more warriors of the Golden Horn clan wanted to challenge Luo Feng to a fight. Fan Qi said that if Luo Feng wanted to refuse, he should just ignore them. The situation became even more chaotic when one of the warriors, Bugarto, introduced himself to challenge Luo Feng. In such a situation, it didn't take long for a giant stone figure to appear, looking very strong and large. But not to challenge Luo Feng. He was the bodyguard of another high-ranking figure named Kobe. He had come to stop the riot that was happening. Elder Kobe paid his respects to the inspection envoy. He introduced to the stones there that Luo Feng was the person who had come to solve the problems that the Human Clan and the Golden Horn Clan had been experiencing. Don't riot because they desperately need help from the Human Clan, he sternly said to the Golden Horn Clan warriors whose minds were as hard as stones. He said who would take responsibility if anything happened to the inspection envoy later. When the stones were silent, suddenly, a Golden Horn Clan warrior appeared who wanted to take responsibility and said that even if their clan was destroyed, at least their pride would still be preserved. And that warrior came from the old patriarch's palace. The level 9 domain master was Bei Chuang, Fan Qi's younger brother. Bei Chuang said that Luo Feng had to beat him first before he could go to the patriarch's palace. Bei Chuang's attitude was the opposite of that of his brother Fan Qi, which annoyed the Kobe elders. Fan Qi informed Luo Feng that his younger brother's understanding of origin law had reached the 9th level of the Sky Bridge, higher than Luo Feng's. The Golden Horn clan itself greatly values strength. If they continue to refuse, they will definitely think that Luo Feng is too arrogant. And on the contrary, if Luo Feng shows his abilities, then he will gain honor. So Luo Feng thought that fighting Bei Chuang would definitely be beneficial. Babata, who showed up, was not allowed by Luo Feng to fight because Bei Chuang had reached the 9th level of the Sky Connecting Bridge, while Luo Feng was only at level 7. Luo Feng would also not be forgiven, considering that the Golden Horn clan had a severe temperament. But the warriors there cheered with joy when Luo Feng agreed to the challenge given by Bei Chuang. Luo Feng proposed a condition that if he won, he would ask for a piece of the giant destroyer monster's hair as a keepsake, and the two agreed. The duel between the two of them was held in an arena surrounded by 4 pillars, useful for forming a barrier so that the impact of the fight did not reach the audience. The elders of the Golden Horn clan who watched the duel thought the fight would be quite interesting, in which a human would fight using Yanshen weapons in the place where the weapons were made. Many of the spectators thought that Luo Feng would lose because he was fighting with his Yanshen weapon against Bei Chuang, who was also using a similar weapon, but his understanding was more profound. The fight began with both of them activating the 6th form of the Yanshen weapon, Sword World. They formed thousands of swords that clashed with each other in the not-wide arena. When his opponent's strength began to push him back, Luo Feng realized that Bei Chuang's strength and understanding of the use of Yanshen weapons were higher than his. After making Luo Feng retreat, his opponent activated the level 3 Sword World, forming a large sword while moving forward, adding to the momentum of the previous attack. Luo Feng did the same. After defending, he formed a great sword from thousands of flying swords, and in the end, a close combat fight ensued. From the impact of the melee attack, Luo Feng could see cracks appearing in the shape of his weapon, while Bei Chuang, who felt he had the upper hand, expressed his disappointment in the duel. And because Luo Feng was considered too weak, he would immediately use his ultimate technique, the Thunder Sword. Bei Chuang increased the power of his weapon several times before he threw it at his opponent. Meanwhile, Luo Feng, who from the beginning had not shown any resistance, was trying to defend himself from his opponent's attacks. And as a result, the shape of Luo Feng's weapon was getting worse and worse. Bei Chuang had more variations of Yanshen weapon attacks, which Luo Feng had never seen before. Continuing the fight with these weapons would clearly be detrimental to Luo Feng. That's why Luo Feng here activated the innate talent of the golden-horned behemoth, namely the strengthening talent, coupled with the stigma of the Blood River Warrior, which was also active. Luo Feng's strength, which rose so significantly in the middle of the fight, finally managed to penetrate the enemy's attack, knocking Bei Chuang out, and Luo Feng immediately pointed the weapon at his forehead. The counterattack that Luo Feng showed and led to victory made the audience feel surprised and confused. Stretching out his hand, Luo Feng said that it was an honor for him to be able to fight the formidable Bei Chuang. But Bei Chuang, who still hated humans, did not accept the helping hand that Luo Feng offered. Trying to win his heart, at that moment Luo Feng said that while Bei Chuang's use of his Yanshen weapon was very powerful, Luo Feng himself could only narrowly defeat him. Moreover, the victory that Luo Feng achieved did not mean to defeat Bei Chuang. He said that even though being the strongest and most powerful person was a principle for survival, in the universe, no matter how strong a clan was, it would still be more beneficial if someone could make one more friend rather than one more enemy. Luo Feng intended to make it clear that the relationship between humans and the Golden Horn clan was not one of enemies, but of comrades in arms. Luo Feng's wise words managed to open the door to Bei Chuang's heart, and he was finally willing to admit it. It was not only Bei Chuang who paid respect to Luo Feng, but also the many spectators who watched the duel. Moving on to the square, Luo Feng still got a report from Dylan that Elder Fan Qi had gone to the patriarch's place. So after Luo Feng met the giant destroying monster, he could go straight to the patriarch's palace and discuss the contract agreement given by Luo Feng. Accompanied by Bei Chuang there, Luo Feng then arrived in front of the giant destroyer monster's binding formation. The roar released by the creature exerted considerable pressure. After the roar subsided, Bei Chuang explained that lately the giant destroyer monster had been behaving more aggressively and had tried several times to destroy the binding formation to free itself. He also reminded them that once Luo Feng entered the formation, he could not get protection from anyone, because only Luo Feng himself was allowed to enter it. Luo Feng said it was okay. Even if Luo Feng got into trouble inside, the Golden Horn clan would not be held responsible either, because this was his personal wish. Luo Feng went deeper into the formation, isolated from the outside world, confronting a giant figure with a body bound by golden chains. The chains were only part of the core binding formation, so even if they were destroyed, the monster would still not be able to escape from the formation. The closer Luo Feng got to the monster, the heavier the pressure he exerted. In a comparison of strength, perhaps the creature, which had only just reached the peak of the World Master level, could be equivalent to the level of an immortal. The destroying monster that could speak at that time ordered Luo Feng not to come any closer. Along with that, time was stopped in the area around the formation. Of course, that was the power of origin law that the monster possessed, the domain of stopping time. Once that was released, warriors below the immortal level would not be able to move their bodies or put up any resistance. Luo Feng, who was in the time domain, could feel that the cells in his body had also stopped moving. However, even though his body could not be moved at all, it had no impact on his mental strength. Using his mental strength, Luo Feng possessed the heart and consciousness of the giant destroyer monster so that he could interact with the creature. Luo Feng also used the golden-horned behemoth monster mode when interacting. In a consciousness that was like being in the universe, the destroyer monster found that he, Luo Feng, was the same species as himself. They were both high-level beast monsters, which is why he felt a familiar feeling when he met Luo Feng. After 2,000 eras, or 20 million years, the destroyer monster was finally able to meet again with a colleague like the behemoth monster. After learning Luo Feng's identity as behemoth, the giant destroyer monster no longer considered him an enemy, and Luo Feng was able to continue the correct interaction with him. Luo Feng was sure that the reason why the destroyer monster had become aggressive was because he hoped to be freed from the formation's confinement. But unfortunately, Luo Feng could not destroy the formation, let alone get him out. But at least Luo Feng could provide some training. Training related to composure that might help the destroyer monster break through the immortal level. That way, as promised, the patriarch of the Golden Horn clan would release him from the formation. Hearing Luo Feng's offer, the monster laughed and rejected his offer. He raged to the point that the gold chain that restrained him was destroyed, saying that he had just regained his composure when he retaliated against the people who had locked him up there for so long. Disabling the time domain, the monster said again that he could see a figure that was very familiar to him in that place, which was enough to entertain him. And at the same time, he asked Luo Feng to leave immediately. Just before leaving, Luo Feng wanted to talk about something. Dylan, who had been worried, waited outside the formation and was soon able to see Luo Feng come out of there in one piece. Not only that, but as he had wished, Luo Feng also managed to bring the monster's fur home. Only by becoming a strong figure can one control one's destiny, like the Golden Horn clan that now controls the destiny of the giant destroyer monster. The same goes for the virtual company that controls the destiny of the Golden Horn clan.
何尝不是如此？而公司对你和四班级长老会合。
After settling the matter with the monster destroyer, Luo Feng went to the patriarch's palace, escorted by Fan Qi. Luo Feng faced the patriarch, who was the most senior member of the clan. With his high position, the patriarch could clearly influence the development of the relationship between humans and the Golden Horned. That's why Luo Feng had to win over the old man, so that the new agreement Luo Feng made would be accepted. The patriarch said that he had finished reading the new agreement, and from the new agreement, it seemed that the Golden Horn clan could get more benefits. However, the new agreement would never have been realized if the rift in relations between the two parties had not been resolved. In fact, many members of the Golden Horn were still willing to participate in demonstrations. This is very natural considering that the Golden Horn clan had once received unfair treatment from the company. So it was also natural for them to despise the human clan. But Luo Feng guarantees that as long as he is around, such injustice will never happen again. With such a sharp gaze, the patriarch threw a new letter of agreement, which turned out to be completely empty. And promises that only came out of Luo Feng's mouth clearly wouldn't be able to be a guarantee. Luo Feng was surprised, even though there should have been contents in the new agreement. It seemed that the patriarch did it on purpose. Not losing his mind, Luo Feng turned it back on patriarch. If he were the same, he would only give verbal promises, or just false promises, to the giant-destroying monster. The reason why, for 20 million years, this monster of destroyers has been trying to break through the level is not because the creature believes Patriarch will keep his promise to release him, but only because he is forced to. Right? The Golden Horn clan and the virtual company are in a similar situation, as is the monster. The Patriarch, who had a terrible face, suddenly laughed with joy. He explained to Luo Feng that, although there were many unfair actions taken by the virtual company, the Golden Horn clan had never resisted humans. But now it's different. There is a lot of cheering to fight humans, and the number is increasing over time. From the Patriarch's explanation, Luo Feng assumed that there must be a party that was provoking from within. And Patriarch was right. Within the Golden Horn clan, There were people who wanted to divide the clan into two camps. If left unchecked, this would be very dangerous, as the Golden Horn clan could break off relations with the human clan. If that happened, the Golden Horn clan would end. Although Patriarch had time to bully Luo Feng, it turned out that he was the one who wanted peace. The Patriarch's inability to control his unruly members likely prompted him to reveal the internal problems of the Golden Horn to Luo Feng. That's why Luo Feng immediately offered his help. The Patriarch explained again that to maintain the stability of the alliance, it must be led by a strong and powerful person. Although Luo Feng had previously been able to defeat Bei Chuang, it was still not enough to make everyone submit to him. However, there was a very effective way to solve the problem, which was to understand the sacred monument found on the Laos continent, a priceless treasure left behind by Shi Luo Duo. The monument is quite similar to the monument of chaos of the human clan. Although many elite warriors have studied it, most of them can only understand a little. If only Luo Feng could fully understand the sacred monument and show the talents of the human clan, then automatically the cheers from the opposition would quickly subside. Long story short, Luo Feng is now in a tower where sacred monuments are kept. When he approached it, Babata explained that the monument was erected on the land of blessing in the core of the sacred city, and that the only people who could train there were the elite of the Golden Horn clan. There were also many valuable methods that Luo Feng could obtain in the tower. For example, there are a total of 36 forms of Yanshen weapons, and they are more essential than the forms of techniques that Luo Feng has learned. The fact that Shi Luo Duo painstakingly created them all and compiled these techniques to strengthen the Golden Horn clan is impressive. But for now, Luo Feng must focus on the monument first. When trying to understand the image of the painting on the monument, Luo Feng was in a gripping room and faced with a terrifying monster entity hiding in the darkness. And he couldn't touch it at all. A monster that struck fear into the hearts of those who tried to understand the monument. It's very strange, Luo Feng thought. The monument to chaos that exists in the human clan and that Luo Feng has already studied does not even give a feeling of horror like this one. According to the story, Shi Luo Duo once wanted to kill the leader of the giant axe arena when he was young because he was trying to enter the Laos continent. But the action failed, even though he was able to survive the anger of the danger. And the painting that is now in front of Luo Feng is a record made by Shi Luo Duo based on his fears in his youth. And now, after Luo Feng used his mental strength to fight fear, his energy was almost completely drained. At that moment, Luo Feng wondered if Shi Luo Duo did indeed leave the monument for the progress of the Golden Horn clan. Why did he add an obstacle that made it difficult for people to understand? There must have been a specific purpose behind Shi Luo Duo's actions. Try to stay calm. After thinking about it, fear is also a driving force that can help warriors make breakthroughs. Perhaps this is what the ancestor Shi Luo Duo conveyed, where one does not need to fight fear with mental strength, but rather accept and embrace it. And sure enough, when Luo Feng embraced fear, he converted it into the power of origin law. Luo Feng, who was overflowing with power, could almost make a breakthrough. When he was in the universe in red, filled with small star grains, Luo Feng wondered if that place was the origin of the universe. But suddenly, he was sucked into a black hole. So that's the explanation from SwallowedStar in episodes 159 and 160 this time, guys. Okay, thanks to those of you who have watched it to the end. And don't forget to support us by subscribe, like, and comment. Final words from me. Bye.